Good evening, everyone. I want to start by thanking the class of 2016 for asking me to speak. When Ms. Hollis approached me with this possibility a couple of weeks ago, I immediately thought back to the speeches I'd seen in this setting before. Two very good ones, Ms. Phillips and Ms. Kelly. My first year at St. Andrews, Ms. Hitt, now Ms. Kelly, used references to hip-hop and pop culture to make her points. So I thought I'd follow her lead. There was a problem, though. I don't know any hip songs. The hippest music I have on my iPod is the Jay-Z Kanye album. And I only have that because I heard a review for it on NPR. The album is old now, and I decided to look at the current charts of popular songs. The top single on iTunes, I'd actually heard it before, was one that appeared frequently in Street Jam. And I wondered if in those lyrics some wisdom might be found. The singer describes a beloved whose, quote, stare was holding, ripped jeans, skin was showing. Hot night, wind was blowing, where do you think you're going, baby? Hey, I just met you. Do you want to finish it? I wish they hadn't so adequately proven my point. If you didn't understand them, those words were, hey, I just met you and this is crazy, but here's my number, so call me, maybe. Not exactly Shakespeare. In fact, none of the songs I looked at, to which you all are listening, would work for a speech. Your parents had Bob Dylan and the Beatles who sang of revolution and social injustice. They asked rhetorical questions like, how many roads must a man walk down? Your lyrics ask questions that aren't really questions. Here's my number, call me, maybe. As I considered this problem and struggled to follow Miss Kelly's lead, I sank into a deep concern for your taste in the arts. But I soon experienced a sliver of hope. Saturday, this was 2 weeks ago, I went to a concert at Palomar Hall by a band named Wilco. Now, they don't have any iTunes top singles, but I actually saw a few of you in attendance. And it was with the faces of Jack Harp and Scott Kennedy, Casey Coaches and Martha Langford on my mind that I listened to the music. Towards the latter part of the show, Wilco played one of its most well-known songs called Jesus Etc. And as I listened to the music and considered the speech, I heard some lines anew. They were, our love is all of God's money. Everyone is a burning sun. And I knew what I wanted to say. What does that mean? Let me leave you with those metaphors for just a second. Where you have been and where you're going will give you some context for my take on those lyrics. We are here to congratulate you for reaching a benchmark in your life, and we are right to do so. I didn't have a middle school graduation, but then I had a class called Career Discovery in which the final project was to make Rice Krispie treats. You all have a little bit more rigor in your lives. And that's what your parents wanted for you. You've written papers that maintained a consistent and unique argument. You've taken foreign languages and had arts teachers push you towards a more diverse understanding of the world. Your assignments have demanded more from you than the right ratio of marshmallows to Krispies. But your walk through this rigor hasn't always been pretty. In fact, at times it has been downright ugly. This is not your fault, though, kids. And it really doesn't have much to do with St. Andrews. It is a rule of the universe. To put this rule in equation form for math teachers, I'll call it middle school equals awkward squared. In fact, the first look I usually get when I tell people I teach middle school is a grimace. Woo. They say, tough age. They don't mean that you're mean or anything. They just regard this time in your lives with empathy. You've had a lot going on. Usually, the next line is, all those hormones. Acne has appeared overnight. You have smelled after forgetting to apply deodorant. Unfortunately, too many of you have frequently forgotten to adequately apply deodorant. Some of you have had first relationships, and quickly thereafter, breakups via text message. Boys, your voices have cracked on you at the precise moment you wanted to sound sure of yourself. Realistically, who you are won't fundamentally change overnight. Many of you will maintain quirks we all know and love. Charlotte Dunbar will probably still say hello 7 times to everyone she sees. Alexis Palmer will probably still ask questions to which she knows the answers. Jack Hawkins will likely still wear clothing that stretches the boundaries of style, or at least marks his presence firmly outside of those boundaries. Jake Waring will still flip his hair and smooth it 10 times in class. Umer's name will still make you want to sing the now classic song, Umer has it. But we expect that you will grow and gain insight and wisdom over the coming years. A chapel speaker recently issued the St. Andrew's student body a brief but simple challenge, insisting that you owed it to the world, and particularly to Mississippi, to be leaders, to be giants, he said. We do need more leaders. And you're moving towards that future with a solid foundation. That has a great deal to do with St. Andrews. First of all, you're taking the educational experience you've had the last few years. Passionate teachers who know their subject area and are good at their craft. I observed Ms. Tumanella recently and was struck by how fluidly her class operated. Students came in, knew what was expected of them, and she anticipated their questions before they had even finished. The wonders of a veteran teacher. I wonder if you realize just how much rope Ms. Harth has given you to learn in your own way and at your own pace. Most teachers would balk at the legwork involved in preparing such a class. Many teachers would reject the idea of having students sit on red bouncy balls during discussions. She has embraced your diverse needs and the disorder therein. In the humanities, you've had teachers whose love of writing led to personalized and individualized attention. I stumbled upon a paper from Mr. Lyle's class recently. I was struck by the number of comments on it. I doubt you fully comprehend how long that takes to do for 90 kids. It is not happening at many other places. And it only happens because he cares about those skills and knows you'll need them. You'll take those skills, that content with you to the upper school. But the greatest asset you're going to take is each other. It is your peers. No classroom teacher could duplicate the experience of sitting next to Tracy Rattad or Wilson Montjoy in class, absorbing from them both intelligence and diligence. But more importantly, the fact that those traits are not necessarily accompanied by arrogance or a tendency to belittle others. Nothing we can say as teachers would teach the lessons of empathy like the earnest sincerity and goodness of a Cole Maloney or Kristen Boykin or Spencer Brown. When you have those kind of people sitting next to you, you can't help but absorb their teaching. In continuing your education under passionate upper school teachers and through learning from each other, our hope is that you will become better and deeper versions of you in the next few years. And it's here I'm going to return to those Wilco lines we left a while ago. Love is all of God's money. Everyone is a burning sun. By sun, S-U-N. Wilco doesn't mean to imply a cheesy version of greatness, as in, you're all big and important. They mean something a little bit more negative. Everyone is, inescapably, the center of their own universe. And that is not always a good thing. We all struggle to get past ourselves, to rise above our egos, to consider others first. And the best way to do that is in the preceding line. Love is all of God's might. Now, we have a diverse religious audience here this evening at St. Andrew's Episcopal School. And I feel no reservations about saying that in my study of religions, love is indeed the currency of the divine. It is the best way to counteract self-indulgence. So this is the challenge I'll offer for you as you go to the upper school across the sidewalk. I challenge you to step outside of your own center as often as possible. To remember that you are only the most important person in the world to yourselves. Stepping outside your own center will make you a better participant in all dimensions of your life. It will foster a more open-eyed academic perspective. It will create in you a more loving heart. There are tools to help you do this. Good books train you to do this. So Kill a Mockingbird shows one person looking past differences to see the full version of humanity within their neighbor. Harry Potter is so popular because it insists that heroism is often about love and modest goodness rather than extravagant action. Religions help you do this work as well. The good Buddhist is aware of the fact that everything they do impacts the world around them. A Muslim upholding the pillars of Islam gives zakat, or charity to those in need. Hindus know that their dharma or duty involves acting with kindness to their neighbor. Jesus insisted that we think of the way our actions would affect others before we act. You have to step outside of your own burning, your own orbit, in order to do these things on a daily basis. But I encourage you to try. Step outside yourself. Spend your divine money wildly and with abandon. And please, listen to better news.